everybody. Thank you for joining me for another one-man review. Today I've got Quiet Thoughts by Karen Shangguan, published by Avery Hills Publishing. This is a book I picked up at San Diego Comic-Con in a booth that was selling a bunch of stuff for 50% off, and the artwork just grabbed my attention immediately. Reading through it, that kind of remains my opinion of it, is it's a book that I like to look at. But it's just a bunch of like short stories. So Quiet Thoughts is exactly the right thing. These are just like some quiet poetic thoughts that Karen Shangguan had and has illustrated. So it has like a kind of poetic interior musing to it. It's a book that one of our subscribers, a very, very frequent commenter on our channel, RBT, has called Soft Sad Ice Cream Comics for Soft Sad Ice Cream People. And I think out of all the books we reviewed, this is probably the most soft sad ice cream comics for soft sad ice cream people. I don't know exactly what he means by that, but I think it's this type of book where it's just someone kind of quietly bemoaning their depression and stuff. But it's also soft and sad and beautiful in that, and you can get a look at the artwork here. Kind of abstract. I've been getting more and more into these abstract type of comics. There's more representation in here than, say, Hugh Nguyen or Jism Viral, but I kind of, I like this type of soft sad ice cream person art. I'm just trying to figure out who does it that I like the type of content they're actually doing. This one I'm a bit on. I'm not quite sure, but pages like this with this person diving into the water are just stunning, and it doesn't even need any words. Like, that image just speaks to me, and just the idea of quiet thoughts. Like, there was a time in my life where I spent a lot of time swimming. I would go to the gym at like 2 a.m. and would be the only one swimming. So through the mind of the goldfish, this story here, where it's obviously just someone swimming and ruminating, like, I really connect with that experience. Well, actually, no, I guess this is the goldfish looking out through. Okay, this is strange. I'm realizing I'm talking about it now. One of the things that's strange about this book is that you do have disconnected stories. And even though they have titles, like, there will be like these visual connections. So it seems like, I don't know if this is a title or if it's just a continuation of like the thought on the previous page. So actually this one looks like it's a goldfish looking at the living room now that I'm talking about it. But anyways, the book has this sense of these quiet thoughts that you would have like interiorly while you're swimming and you don't have anyone to talk to, and there's just like the whoosh, whoosh sound, that's the vibe of the whole book. And I like that vibe. Like I said, I quite enjoyed doing my nighttime swimming. Now I want to go back and reread this goldfish one because this is funny. All the little distortions that were being made as seen through the bowl. I was in the mindset of swimming because of that pun, not totally intended splash page. But then you get another one here, and you kind of have that same pose as the swimming, but every beautiful thought is better in the wild, and it's obviously someone kind of being in the grass. And this is where I realized, okay, it's not one continuous thing, it is a series of thoughts. I think this sequence right here, the tactility of certain sounds, was really interesting to me. I think a lot of this soft sad ice cream comics, the stuff that I like about it does have a sense of synesthesia to it. I've always been very jealous of people that have synesthesia. I know if someone has it and it's like distressing, that's probably a statement that they would find foolish, but I see a lot of artists employ it, and I want that so bad. I want to have that connection to like a more interconnected view of the world. I feel like I would understand more. I've known people who have kind of synesthetic experiences where colors will trigger emotions or emotions will trigger visuals and stuff like that. And talking to them makes me understand different outlooks in the world more. Like, if you're going to be really concerned about other people, like, it makes sense that they become almost like these entities in your head. Like, to me, a person's just something outside of my head. So a synesthetic experience seems to also help with empathy and sympathy and stuff like that in some of the conversations I've had. And this tactile sounds and visualizing the sounds here just really interests me. Um, yeah, that sequence I find very beautiful, and I think maybe that's what I like about a lot of these comics is they're visualizing something in a way that makes it more accessible to me. Um, so yeah, it's interesting. Here is something that I connected to, and works like this. Yeah, I'm always going to respond to the feeling that I've felt, and it's harder for me to feel the stuff that I'm unfamiliar with. And I know in fiction, like that's supposed to help me connect, like it's supposed to help me understand the thing that I've never understood before. And some artists do that really well, but these, again, I'm going to go to the soft sad ice cream comics. They tend to be mm, like too much just from their own experience that I don't know that they could communicate to someone like me at least something other than the experience. It's like they're looking at their belly button a little too closely for it to cross communicate to someone who hasn't experienced those things. I've definitely read books where I can experience something I've never experienced, but this type of kind of internal memoir comic for me, I always feel like I'm just looking at someone else. When I do connect with the story, it's because I felt something. So here, she's having a conversation that's not interesting to her, and she just says various vacuous words that I want to unhear. I want to unhear their banality, and their existence grows more transparent as if made of nothing. Yet I don't know, what is it that I want to hear? And I've definitely been in plenty of conversations where it's just idle talk. I remember reading Heidegger in Being in Time, talking about idle talk or idle chatter when I was in undergraduate school doing philosophy classes, and I've thought about that a lot, like how much of what we say and this channel as well is just like we just like that's how we engage with one another. So we talk just to be engaged, but that's painful for me and a lot of other people. I think like mindless engagement. And so I really identified with that. Like, God, I just don't want to hear these vacuous, banal words. So that landed quite well with me. This sequence here was probably where this was the one where I realized, oh, this is one of RBT's soft sad ice cream comics. So now I feel like I can't control myself. Everything I feel is infinitely deeper, as if another language born of unhappiness transcends everything real. And in the end, it was as if I was destined to feel this way. Yeah, like that's the type of stuff that I know a bunch of people feel that way. A bunch of people get depressed. I don't get that kind of clinical depression. I get depressed based on situations, but the depths of swallowing depression, I've never felt it. And comics like this are trying to communicate it, but I just feel like it's too much someone talking to themselves and looking at themselves. And someone could communicate that in a way that I could understand it, but this isn't the book. And then this just kind of cracked me up here. This sequence where she's talking about her cat, like this type of someone who would make this statement, and then there's this comic here that's about I don't know, just beauty standards. I don't know. I feel like I've heard the beauty standards things a million times. You have to put a real personal spin on it for it to land, and it's just kind of a general beauty standards. It just seemed like, okay, yeah, of course this is someone who owns cats. I know that's generalizing in a bad way, but this just feels like a cat person book to me as a dog person. But it's just saying that basically her life got so bad and so depressing that my cat embodied all of the things I had abandoned in the small blackness of its being. It was my heart, but one day it slithered and skittered and slipped away. I had a feeling it was clairvoyant. It saw the things that hovered before my life. It knew me more than me, and it could no longer bear to hold so much while witnessing so little. And so it's like, oh, my life got so boring and depressing that my cat saw where it was going and bounced. So yeah, that's the type of book this is. The actual written content, again, it's just not my type of thing, but there's quite a lot of beauty in the book, and I would still recommend it just for another take on what comics could be in terms of style and approach. And I'm glad I picked it up. It's something I'll flip through for visuals. It's just, I've complained many times on this channel about like diary comics, and especially diary comics dealing with depression. It seems like medicine for yourself, but I don't know that it needs to make it out into the world. I'm glad this particular book did, because like I said, I think there are moments in it that are really interesting, especially the tactility of sound. But in the end, it's not a book for me. It may be a book for some other people in terms of the type of book it is. But for the type of book it is, it's extremely well done. And I always want to make that clear when I'm giving kind of a negative review of the book. Um, what I like and what I don't like is separate from whether the author and artist achieved what they were trying to achieve and achieved it at a high level. And this is definitely a book where Karen Shangguan achieved what she was trying to achieve at a high level. It's just, I personally, that's not the type of thing I'm interested in people seeing people achieve, unless it's done like so crazy that it pushes it into like I just like, they make me connect in a way I couldn't imagine. But this one's not quite there yet. The best way, if you enjoy what we're doing here on the channel, to support us is to buy the books that Sean has put out and that he has coming out from Living the Line. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some of those now. There's also Yokoyama Yuichi's Plaza, which is a totally intense manga by an artist who has somehow figured out how to distill manga down to its purest essence. This book was successfully funded on Kickstarter, but if you missed the Kickstarter, you can order it through any comic store, any bookstore, Amazon, any place that you would normally get your graphic novels from. Eric Creek's The Exile, which has been described by the artist as his Viking Western. It's a really intense story of revenge, rendered with this beautiful pen and ink style, and then these couple of spot colors that were also done in layers on ink and then converted into color. So that's just a really beautiful book, and a really intense story. Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe